I can't believe it. It's here. Months, years of experience combined into months of work have led to this. My book, What Do You Want? Choose for Yourself or Someone Else Will, is being released on March 25th. And I want to sell you on something. And it's not the book, it's what the book does. This book is 95 pages. Okay. You can see how thin this is. It's not big. I wrote it so you could read it in under 2 hours. All right. And this is not a book I want people to pick up and then just read, get like a decent idea from, and then move on with their life. This is a playbook on how to get what you want at life and at work. Okay. Because, and I view them honestly as the same thing. But what happened was this: I didn't actually mean to write this book. All right. And this is what I want to sell you on. When I got into coaching and I started working with people that are very successful at what they do, the thing that was really interesting was I thought I was going to help on the execution side. I thought I was going to come alongside people in the things that they were trying to do with their life, and then the things that they were trying to get, it happen in their work. And I thought I was just going to help them execute better. But then what ended up happening is that I'd get in there and we'd start focusing on the execution. I'd just be asking the question like, what is this? What is the point of this? What it's the so what question. Okay, we're doing this thing. So what? Like, what's the outcome we're aiming for? And so many times people didn't have answers, or they didn't have good answers. They would be vague, or there wouldn't really be much of an answer at all. I'll give you a couple examples. Have you ever heard or said anything along the lines of, if somebody's like, well, how much money do you want? Oh, I'm trying to just build generational wealth. Okay, that's great. How much is generational wealth? Like that's not a number. How do you know you've been successful? You've crossed that line. Are you trying to, is generational wealth like a monthly cash flow number? Like I'm making the, $40,000 a month in income. Is it, I have a net worth of $10 million? Like what does generational wealth mean to you? People don't have answers for that. We'd be talking about their business. I still face this. Very successful business owners. How much money are you trying to make in your business this year? Oh, we're trying to do like 5 to 6 million in revenue. Okay. Hey, how much are you trying to grow this year? Yeah, we did 80 million in revenue last year. We're looking somewhere between 20 to 30% growth. Well, which one is it? Is it 20 or is it 30? Because the reason we have to know that number is because you can't plan to a range of things. It's like getting in your car. And this is one of the reasons why I have I talk about this a lot. This is one of the reasons I have the little GPS thing up here. I talk about the difference between between having direction and between having a destination. Lots of people have a general direction. But the thing is, if I tell you, hey, let's go on a road trip together, and you're like, great, where are we going? And I say, let's go north. Well, what does that mean? If we get in a car and you go to plug in the GPS where you want to go, you can't type in north. The GPS cannot map you a route. You'll never get where you want to go. Why? Because you don't know where you're going. We don't know how to plan the route. So that's why having a direction in your life. I want to build generational wealth. I want to grow my family. I want to travel the world. Like I want to grow my business by 50% this year. Whatever it is, like we need something definitive. We need to have an actual destination so we can map towards it. And that's what the book, What Do You Want, is about. There's a reason that it's called the Clarity Series. There will be 2 more books because I help people answer 3 questions. This is ultimately everything I do breaks down to helping people answer these 3 questions. What do you want? Why do you want it? And then how are you going to get it? That's ultimately what I help do. And when we get clarity on all 3 of those things, all of a sudden you're able to get more out of life by doing less better. That's one of the big things. I'll be talking to people and they'll be like, Steven, I would love to work with you. I think everything you're doing sounds fantastic, but I just can't take more on right now. And I go, I know. That's why you need me. Because I'm not here to help you do more stuff. I'm here to help you do less, better, and you'll get more because of it. That's how it looks. The number one thing that I solve for is distraction in life. That's the enemy I'm trying to help you fight. And when we have clarity on what we want, guess what? We can start eliminating that distraction because now we have signal. It's like, okay, if this is like, the radio tower, and it's putting out the signal, and we're tracking to that as directly as possible. Well, the second that we start getting off course or something, and shiny objects and all these other distractions start coming along, if we don't know where that signal's coming from, guess what? We'll follow the noise. And that's what I don't want for you. That's how we end up ending up in places, and we're like, how did I get here? Maybe it's not a bad place, but maybe it's not exactly where you wanted to be. My origin story on this was that I was climbing the ranks in Fortune 500 companies. I had an extremely successful sales career. It hit all the top sales awards, all these different things. And then I had an opportunity to take that next step up the corporate rung. The money would have put me in the top 1%. My stock options would have been more than what most people make in an average year. I mean, it was the golden handcuffs. I was going to start making so much money in the corporate world that it would have been hard to say no, from then on, because it just would have got better and better. But I turned it down. And I said no. And I didn't just not take the promotion. I quit the Fortune 500 corporate world altogether. Why? Why did I do that? Because it wasn't fulfilling anymore. It wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't a challenge. I had proven myself. There was going up to the next rung. It was just more of the same thing at a slightly different level. It didn't, as BB King would say, the thrill was gone. And that's what I wanted. I wanted the adventure of entrepreneurship. I wanted to go and start my own business. I had been coaching people on the side, and I found it so fulfilling helping people realize what they truly wanted in their life and then seeing them go after it. And by the way, this transformation happens sometimes in minutes. Like, I don't want you to think that, oh, okay, well, if I read this book, I'm going to go on this year-long journey, or it's going to take, 3 months. No, 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 no. I have calls with people that I call clarity calls, and they're an hour long with people that I've never met before. And we will be in tears, crying sometimes on these calls just by asking some of these simple questions. And you hear people say things like, nobody's asked me what I want in decades, including myself. I've been so busy just, being successful at the next thing that came at me. I never actually stopped to see if this is actually the thing I want to be successful at. Stephen, everything in my life is awesome. I've reached all the success I want to, but I don't know what's next. I don't know what I want anymore. I knew what I wanted, and I went after it, and I got it. And now I don't know. I don't know what's coming next. These are the things in the topics and in the responses that I get in these calls. And I want you to know that transformation, that going from chaos to clarity, from being unsure and insecure to having a foundation and a map of where you're going to go, it doesn't take this long time to figure it out. Sometimes it takes a couple minutes of silence and asking ourselves a couple dangerous questions that we probably already know the answer to. We just know that if we answer a dangerous question like, what do I want? It's going to require change. And change scares us because there's pain that can be involved in change. It might be financial, might be emotional, might be nothing, might be just totally made up in our heads. A lot of times that it is, but at the end of the day, it's going to require us to do something different. And we avoid that for whatever reason. So that's what this book is about. It's about helping you choose, because the reality is this: somebody's choosing what's going on in your life. It's either you or it's society. And society, as I dictate, or as I define it, is just external sources. So that want your time, energy, attention, money, and soul. That's it. Society is not this evil thing. It's just a cold machine. That's all that it is. And it requires your time, energy, attention, money, and soul in order to be able to operate. So it could be everything from corporations. It could be the media. It could be ads. It could be the government. It could be your parents' expectations of you, your boss's expectation of you. These are all forces of society because that's what they're trying to do. Every time that you leave the office at 5 and then you come home and your phone is pinging with distractions that are trying to take you away from enjoying life and doing the things that matter to you, guess what? That's all society. That's what that is. So that's what this book does. It helps you understand and see how you are investing these things. You have 1,000 minutes every day. How are you investing those? When you are investing those 1,000 minutes, is your attention on what you're supposed to be doing, or is it on something else? So that's what we really break down here. At the end of the day, this book, I just want to serve people and to give you the opportunity to start defining what it is that you truly want and then get after it, because you get one life. That's it. And I talk about this in the book. There's a woman who was a hospice nurse who wrote the book, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. And one of the number one regrets that people have has to do with this. And I talk about that in there. So that's it. That's my sales pitch. It's not just about buying my book. I hope you will consider it. It's on Amazon, exclusively listed there. I hope that you'll go and you will check this out, and that ultimately this book will be one that serves you. It will give you questions that you will be able to answer, and then have clarity on what it is, the things that you should be chasing in your life. Because I want to help you win at life and at work, not just one or the other. I don't see the difference between them. One of the things I love to tell people is that I don't believe in work-life balance. I believe in work-life harmony. I think that us trying to separate the two actually hurts us more than it helps us. So if any of that is interesting to you, I hope you'll consider my book. For those of you that are already out there, cheering it on and everything, thank you so much for the support, for the people that have been just a part of this very long journey of getting this together. I appreciate you so much. And yeah, March 25th coming out on Amazon.